Hey everybody, this is Charlie from Anthrax, and today I'm hanging out with the one and only DJ Delz. Dude, what's all the sneakers in the back and shit? Damn.
Yeah, I collect a ton of sneakers and like all types of shit. Funko Pop.
Yeah,
Um, Look, you see like the Barbasol can
yeah, I got
up
that too.
there. I know you've got that. I've seen it on your Instagram, which is crazy.
Yeah, you know, yeah, comes.
It's so good. Have you ever seen this thing before?
What is it? No, what the hell? My one of my best friends works for the Bulls, and like last year, no, the year before that, um, dude, it was like such a great game, and I ended up getting the shoe,
Oh, hell yeah.
and I was like, "Where's the right one?" He's like, "Oh, someone took it," but it's like a size 15.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. That's a player exclusive, I would assume. So look,
Yeah.
when you open it up, you got to pull on it first,
Oh.
and then you get the flaps. It's been a second step.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like the gift that just keeps on giving.
Holy
I know
shit.
you'll appreciate this, or else I won't even waste your time. So then, check it out. You got the sneaker, and it's got the Jurassic Park. It got all like the
Oh
flowers and all that
man.
shit going on.
I
It's got
love
like
it.
the zebra print. It's got the logo. But then on the other one, it's got the spit from the dinosaur. Remember when he
Yeah.
spit in his
This
face and he's blinded and everything?
When did those come out?
This year, you could probably still find them on Reebok's site.
That's really cool, man. With the spitter. I love it.
And there's so many different ones. Like there's
Oh,
one that
really?
yeah, like there's one that comes in like the retro Jeep that he drove. And it comes like the remember the toy packaging from back in the days?
Of
It's
course.
just like that. I'll send you a link on
Yeah,
that.
dude, send me like that because that's fucking awesome. Even
Yeah,
though
yeah.
Reebok, it's Reebok. I wonder how Reebok got the exclusive.
Reebok's been getting a lot of exclusives lately. I know you though. You man, back in the days and still to now, you was pretty fresh with the sneakers.
I
You
was
always
such a
got a fresh pair
huge,
on.
I was a huge Jordan fan, so I would travel all over the country and I would travel all over the world, and then I'd see a pair of Jordans. I'm like, wow, when did these come out? And they'd be like, but that was back when it wasn't so like exclusive. You know what I mean? It's just like
Yeah, it
They
was
put
tier.
Jordans out.
This is
Yeah.
when it was.
Yep.
I
That's
mean,
it.
look,
That's
you guys are wearing Jordan 6 infrareds, the one you won the championship in.
yeah.
And then Dan is wearing the maroons, which he also wore on the Married with Children's episode too. Um,
Correct. Yeah.
but man, I mean,
And then
things have changed.
what's Flavor wearing there?
He's wearing some Pumas with no laces.
He's wearing Pumas. I see. Joey's wearing the shell toe with the red stripe.
Yep. Let me get that stupid thing off Joey's face for Christ's sakes. And I can't
Yeah.
see. I can't
So
tell what everyone else is wearing. Go ahead.
so let me kind of give you a little back in the day. This is what was going on. So around 1987, when we did the cover for the "I'm the Man" session, we were all Adidas. Man, that was it. Adidas was always popular with us, and Adidas started to sponsor us. And dude, they would send us boxes of stuff on tour. Um, and we were pretty much loyal to Adidas up until like let's say 90, 91, when Michael Jordan, like we could not have a pair of Jordans, you know what I mean? So the Adidas thing kind of went away a bit, and then we became like Nike fanatics. And so in that picture kind of reflects that time. But for me in the past, I would say 5 to 10 years. I've been rocking Adidas like most of the time, or Vans.
Yeah, because I've been noticing. I check your Instagram out. A lot of Adidas low top suedes.
My
Um,
favorite, my
yeah,
favorite of
they're super
campus.
comfortable. And then
And
also the Vans, the classic checkered Vans is
yeah,
unbelievable.
that's
I,
a shoe that's always. It's like if I'm heading out the door and I look to see what shoes are there, I'm going, either with my campus or my Vans, because the
mhm.
campus shoes are just so comfortable.
They are. I have a couple of pairs, and Vans are too. They're great to kick around. I was just wearing these yesterday, the Metallica
The,
Vans, which are pretty
oh,
kick
those are
ass.
cool. You know,
Yeah, you
you know
did
what are
your
really
own
nice?
van though,
Yeah, yeah, and we're
and
like
there it is.
those. Yeah, so those are they're supposed to put that in production, dude. But with COVID it not only has fucked up the world over, but it's fucked up my sneaker thing.
That's so
um,
shitty, man.
um, so it's like everything is so far behind now that a lot of stuff isn't getting done.
I know. It's a shame, but and it's a sick looking pair of kicks, bro.
Oh, I love it. And that actual design is going to be on a Zippo lighter too. I just
Mm.
did that. Jose Mengen hooked me up with Zippo, and I'm excited about that because it's like I love that design of all the metal hands. It's like
Yeah, man, that's badass, bro.
it's like looking out to the audience and all you see is a sea of horns.
Yeah, and you've been seeing that Sea of Horns for 40 years. Congratulations, 40 years of Anthrax and other music you've been doing throughout the years. Let's get into a little bit of music. I definitely got to touch on the Funko Pop because you got some Funkos, man. I want to talk about that too. These three albums right here. Can you see on the screen?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Um, the artwork on them.
yeah.
Are these any particular people?
So
Because I've heard so
okay,
many rumors throughout the years or assumptions.
I'll give you a description of two of them, because the one all the way to the left, the first album, I had nothing to do with that.
Mhm.
That design, that was someone else. But then Spreading the Disease, which is the one with the guy coming in. Uh,
Yeah, is
I,
that Frank? Is that supposed to be Frank?
no, but it's kind of like, I think it's kind of a mix of everybody in the band.
Okay.
And I mean, that whole record was supposed to depict, you know, a fan uh, from the show being like wheeled in to this area, into this like triage setup area where he's being detected for, you know,
Radiation or something.
anthrax. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, Anthony.
Yeah. So his levels are pretty high, and he's just screaming with excitement.
Uh-huh.
So that's how that one came about. The next one, which is State of Euphoria, um, I've been telling this story lately. It was supposed to be the five band members uh, going into the vortex, and the artist, I guess, missed that part, and he just did one face, and to me, it always looked like Joey.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what I thought. But if you look close, you're kind of like, wait a
I'm
minute,
like,
is it, you know?
it's yeah, it looks more like him and more like continuation of the guy from the Spreading cover too. So,
Uh-huh.
but anyway,
Yeah, they're mysteries that have been unsolved today.
yes, but that's the story behind them.
So, I've heard you speak a lot about the covers, and you guys actually, by the way, I gotta plug this. They have an amazing a documentary series on 40 years of Anthrax, which
Yeah,
has been a treat. Like it's been,
yeah,
you
man.
guys did such a great job on that. So salute to you all. Um, but with the cover 18, what was the story behind that cover? Because when I was a kid, I was super young. I probably shouldn't have even been listening to Anthrax, but my neighbor was older, so I just took his tape and listened to it. Um,
That's,
what was the story behind you doing that cover? Of course, we love Alice Cooper, but
well,
can you share
well,
about that?
it's like the thing about that cover was it was never intended to be on the record.
Mhm.
That's the truth about it. And while some of us loved Alice Cooper, it was actually brought in from the producer who did the record. He's like,
Mhm.
"You guys should do this Alice Cooper cover," and I was like, "Yeah, but if I'm going to do an Alice Cooper cover, I'd rather do Elected or something off of Billion Dollar Babies." I don't know, but the consensus was 18 would be great for you guys. So I was, team player. So I was like, okay, cool. And that's exactly how it went. I mean, I was never really fond of the version that we did. I thought it was okay, but
Uh-huh.
and that's
Yeah, it was a
being
little
honest.
sped up, but which I liked. And me being so young, I loved the record because you're young. I was like probably 8 years old listening to that. 18, I'm gonna do what I want.
Oh
That
yeah,
shit
yeah.
clicked with the young generation. So
Hey, I get it. I was probably 18 at the time.
yeah, you were
Yeah.
damn what super young. I
Oh,
mean, look at this right here. These photos. And this was in
dude.
Mount Vernon, you guys performed, which is right where I'm around. I grew up in Westchester County.
Oh,
I was too
really?
young yeah. So
Wow.
yeah. And the weirdest
Wow.
thing is that I can't believe I never ran into you guys. I used to even go to the Rough Rider studio. I don't even know if you know where that is, but that's in Yonkers. And
Mm,
it's so weird. I never would run into you guys ever. But
wow. Well, I
yeah.
mean, most of the time, like for me, I grew up in the Bronx, and then I moved up there, like Westchester, kind of like in the early '90s,
Mhm.
and kind of stayed there until like early 2000s. Then I moved
Yeah.
out of state.
hmm but do you remember this show?
Of course,
So how old were you? Were you like 17, 18 years old?
probably around that age, yeah. And I remember we got fucking shit faced drunk, and I remember there being a cake. Someone had a cake, and the cake was all over the place. I remember just things about it. I don't remember the show per se, I just remember everybody back there and just having a great time. Um, that picture of Lars and me, that's taken at Lemoore. That's my photo. And then
Mhm.
the next pic, that's my photo too. That
Yeah, and
was
I have your information linked in the description,
yeah.
by the way. So you guys gotta follow. His Instagram is awesome, and I'm not just saying that because he's
Oh,
here.
thank
He's
you.
not just posting a bunch of corny shit. It's like real awesome stuff. So follow, give him a follow, please. That's all in the
Thank you.
description.
That photo with Cliff, James, Scott, and Frank and myself, that was taken at okay, so we had just completed the UK version of that tour, and now we were about to go to Europe. That
Mhm.
was the last night. We had a bit of a party at a hotel, and it was such a great time. And I remember having someone take this picture for me, and because I would always try to document things, even back then, I was always kind of ahead of it. Like even back then, I would always get two of one thing, just put one away for like later use. And I would always be that guy to just kind of at least try and document. Always have a camera with me, because back then we didn't have phones.
Yeah,
Um, so I just tried to have a camera and just capture the moment, and I'm so glad that I did do that.
yeah. Them pictures are priceless, man. Um, so what kind of I've heard you speak about Cliff, but I like mentioning Cliff just to keep his name always going, because he was so amazing. Do you have any story by any chance you'd like to share, or any thoughts on Cliff that just to keep him going? Because I mean, of course, his music's gonna live forever, but is there
Well, I
anything you'd
think
like
that
to share about
I,
him?
th- I mean, I think the thing about the Cliff Burton legacy is like, no matter what Metallica do, the Cliff thing is always attached to it. At
Hmm.
least for me, it is. Whenever I see their name or I see them doing something, bam! It always puts Cliff's uh, name, in my memory or his image in my memory. Um, There was some fun times, just hanging times. One of my favorite. I mean, I've always told the pancake story, but
Yeah.
a lot of times on the tour, we'd be playing, and Cliff would be behind the Marshalls here, like headbanging, like throughout the
Mm.
whole show, and it was always so much fun to kind of be playing, and then you look over, and there he is. It just always gave you this. I don't know, man. It's just like we're all in this
Yeah, you
together.
get
This
that
this
love.
kind of vibe.
That
Yeah,
support and love, you know?
love is a very important thing about it back then, because we were all on this mission, and we weren't trying to prove anything to each other, but I think we were trying to prove things to the masses. You know what I mean? Just this is what we're doing. This is what we look like. This is what we sound like. And it seemed to catch on rather quickly, especially overseas. It did. In America, I think it took a little bit longer. Not a lot, but you could see the suburban, you know, kids kind of getting into it, and attaching themselves to this kind of this movement or this scene that was very heavy metal based, and it was a lifestyle, and I think that's the one thing about heavy metal music is if you see someone walking down the street and they're wearing an Iron Maiden or a Metallica shirt, you immediately have something in common with that person. You could stop them and mention something, and bam, you two will start a conversation. And that's the thing about this type of music, that it's always brought people together. You don't have to say a word. You could just play music, and you immediately have a bond.
Oh yeah, especially even when like me as a fan of music, you go to the show and then you're like, oh, these are my people. Like we all here to see Anthrax, you know.
Right.
We may not be cut from the same cloth, but maybe the cloth next to it. You know what I mean? Like kind of, you know. So
Which is
it's always a
important.
beautiful
That's
experience.
that is important to me, is that um
Mhm.
bringing people together, and just like I said, and you can't touch that, the way music
No.
speaks to people.
Um. So you go on tour after with the first album. You were just getting out of high school, correct? And
I
you're
was in
on
art.
tour,
Yeah, I was just at a art school. I was kind of enrolled in an art school, and then I had to leave that to go and do our first tour.
and that was with Black Sabbath.
No, no, that
Oh
was
no.
with uh, a band called Raven,
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
and
You eventually went on tour with Black Sabbath, though, right? Correct. And that was with Dio.
no, no, that was okay. So that was around
No, Dio. That was
1985.
way earlier. I'm tripping.
So no, 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 you're good. So
Okay.
this was after Dio. They had a little bit of a change up of band members, and it was
Mm.
still Tony Iommi, and I think Geezer was still there, but then Geezer split. Um, and then they had this singer Ray Gillen, uh, came in because of who was the singer at the time? I can't remember, but he was gone, and then they got this guy Ray Gillen, who later on would sing in a band called Badlands.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know that band. Okay.
And Ray passed away a few years after that. But yeah, so we were on this tour, and it was interesting because it was us, Wasp, and then Black Sabbath. Yeah, that was a trip. Chris Holmes would come in our dressing room pretty much every night, hang with us, get get loaded, and yeah, dude, I don't know. It was our first tour, so our eyes were
Mm.
all open wide.
And then you went. Was it Kiss you were with next, or was that
Well,
later
we
on?
about around '87, we did a portion of a Kiss tour, which was right off of our Among the Living, I'm the
Mm.
Man kind of time, and that was awesome to be on tour with Kiss. Again, one of my
And you
favorite
grew up
bands.
listening to Kiss, right?
Yeah, yeah. So this was
So
a
that
treat.
must
It
have been
wasn't
really surreal.
it wasn't Kiss with the makeup on, but it was
Uh-huh.
it was just as good.
And you went on tour with Ozzy. That was around State of Euphoria, correct? Was that around that time?
Yeah, that was around 88, around that
Mm-hmm.
time, 88, 89. And that was our first real like arena tour. And that was exciting, man. You know,
What's it like touring with someone like Ozzy Osbourne?
you know, Ozzy to me is like an idol. He's a hero of mine because growing up with Black Sabbath, um, and then Ozzy leaving Black Sabbath to do his solo thing. Those first two Ozzy albums, man, can't touch those albums. They're just a part of heavy metal history.
Yeah.
So being on tour with him and watching him, and then there was this one day we had a day off in Buffalo, New York, and I was walking down from the hotel going into the restaurant, and Ozzy was coming out of the restaurant, and we were in Buffalo, and he stops me and he's like, "Man, have you tried the wings?" And I just looked at him and I was just like, "Oh my God, Ozzy's asking me if I tried the wings in Buffalo, New
In
York, you know?"
Buffalo, New York, Buffalo Wings.
And it was just like a surreal moment, and I never forgot that. Just he stops me and he's like, "Man, have you tried the wings?"
Did
Uh,
you try the wings or not?
of course I did. Yeah,
Of course I did.
Ozzy told me to.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not, right?
Yeah,
So,
but yeah, it's a trip, man. It's a trip to see people like in person. You know
mhm,
what I mean?
yeah,
And like your brain just goes through this whole thing like, "Oh, wow, he's standing right in front of me in the flesh." You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a trip.
that's awesome, man. And also, like, you've been around other legends too, like Lemmy. Like Lemmy is amazing. Like,
Yeah.
what would do you have any memories of Lemmy that you could speak on? I
Let me
see
get.
one photo where you looked so happy in this photo off your Instagram. I just wanted to share it.
So that photo of Lemmy, we were on tour together, and I was growing up, I was like the biggest Motorhead fan. I
Mhm.
had everything that Motorhead put out. Um, and then one day on the tour, I asked Lemmy, I said, "Hey man, if I bring some things, would you sign them for me?" He's like, "Of course." But he had no idea what I was about to bring. Um, and dude, I brought my collection, and he looked at it all, and he looked at me, and he looked at it all again, and then he looked at me and he's like, "Pick five," you know? And so I picked like, the five things, and in that picture you see the five things
Yeah.
that, or it was either five or seven, and he
Yeah, you
signed
look so
everything.
happy. I love that because I know
Yeah,
that
man.
you're into like signed autograph pops, which I definitely want to get to really soon. I know you're busy. I don't want to take too much more of your time. Real quick, touching on Dimebag because to me he's was always one of my favorite guitarists, and just the epitome of just a metal rock star. I've always since I remember the first time hearing Cowboys from Hell. Um, what are some do you have any fond memories of this man right here, this legend?
I mean, I have every memory from him is fond. And the thing about
Mhm.
Daryl is like if Daryl was in a room, the room was illuminated, and he brought a party with him, no matter
Life of the party.
where he went. And I would always say that like listening to Van Halen records always sounds like there's a party going on. And then with Dime and just the Pantera guys in general, every day, every night was a party on tour. And it was that atmosphere. It was never living in reality, but yet it was their reality. And it
Mhm.
became your reality too. I mean, I always tell the story about being on tour with them and being sick as a dog. I had like 100 and something fever. They took me to the emergency room and then came back, and I was in my bunk, and I had to play that night too. And all of a sudden I hear the bus door close, and then I hear footsteps, and all of a sudden my curtain opens and it's him. And he's like, "I heard you're sick." I'm like, I could barely like fucking move. And he gives me a shot, and I'm like, "There's no way I'm fucking drinking that, dude." He's like, "Come on, bro. Booze is the healer. Booze is the healer. And I remember he got me out, and I ended up doing the shot and doing the show, and I felt so good. Like after the show, you know, the adrenaline was kicking, and about an hour after that, I was fucked up again, just shivering, fever up. So it's true though, you know, booze was the healer for a few hours, but after that, I went back down.
Yeah, yeah. It's a short-term healer, we'll say.
Short
And
term,
speaking
yeah.
of booze, you guys released your own booze. Can you tell us about that?
Well, the whiskey, you know, that I leave that up to Scott because
Oh, that's his kind of
he's like
brainchild,
a
or
strict, yeah, whiskey connoisseur. He just
okay.
loves it. You talk to me about coffee, I'll talk to you about coffee all day,
Oh yeah, we're getting there
but
too.
he loves that stuff. And
Okay.
you know, for me, I think I've had some, of course, and it's great, but I like just doing shots of whiskey. I can't just sit there with a glass of
Yeah, you're
whiskey.
not the take a sniff
Now I'm a
connoisseur.
more
Yeah, yeah,
coffee,
yeah.
wine, beer, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we got to talk about your love for a lot of things that I actually love myself. The Simpsons. We'll start here with the Simpsons. Where is this photo taken?
It's in my house. It's
That's
downstairs.
incredible.
It's downstairs in the basement, and it's a whole big setup. And yeah, man, I'm kind of nuts about that kind of
I
stuff.
love
I've
that,
always
man.
been. And then the next photo is at Funko in
That
Hollywood.
Funko headquarters, right?
Yeah, I love that place, man. I
It's
love it.
amazing. It's
I know.
absolutely amazing. Who shot who first, by the way? Han Solo? Yeah, let me get your opinion on that.
I think it was Han Solo, of course.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so too. And then
yeah.
this third picture is the Exorcist, right? Is that yeah.
I can barely
It's a little
see.
small.
Oh, that was like a little setup that they had at Monster Palooza, and I kind of became you know, kind of friendly with Linda Blair, and you know, she was so amazing that she signed my pop. You know,
Ah, man. That's a grail right there.
yeah, even though she didn't want to sign it because she doesn't get anything from it, you know, but she
Oh.
was just so nice to sign that for me. And then of course, meeting Stan Lee was amazing, and he was just talking to me about stuff. You know what I mean? Just like uh, it's another one of those moments where you've heard this man talk, you've seen this man. He's responsible for so much of all of our, you know, childhoods and stuff, and then he's just talking to me, and it was weird, man. Another one of those like Ozzy moments where it's very
I can
surreal.
only imagine. And look, you're an artist. You've got some of your stuff behind you, right? Are those your
Oh
pens
yeah,
behind
yeah,
you?
yeah.
And you have your art behind you also. And thank you for sending that Kiss piece. I have it hanging on my wall. Beautiful, bro.
Oh, I hope you like it.
Oh, it's literally legit hanging on my wall right now, framed and everything, man.
Awesome.
And
That's a Rick Baker did that
wow,
piece, and Rick Baker is just awesome. And I know we were talking about signed pops. I
I
just got that
know
once.
that is bad. So let me. You go on tour. You hear you're going on tour and you're going to a festival with them. You bring the pops with you. Is that how it works?
That's exactly how it works.
That is amazing. I seen you even had the little like cardboard shipper in your hand in that
Oh
photo.
yeah, dude, yeah.
Once again, check out his Instagram. I will have that link below, and also where you can get his fine art. He's got prints and he's got actual the one-on-one pieces. These are some of the other ones that I think some of my audience would really love. Also, the Michael Jordan piece, Eddie Van Halen is beautiful, and then he's got his coffee, which we're gonna dig
Coffee,
to
yeah.
so soon. We're gonna dig into that, um, and then we also have, of course, Princess Leia, who we all love. You know, Carrie Fisher, who you've met, Carrie Fisher before. That must have been another Ozzy moment, right? Would you say?
You know that was just like I felt lasted for like a while, but in reality, it was like 5, 10 minutes.
Mhm.
But I mean, half the time I couldn't get over that I was talking to her,
Yeah.
like that situation again. And then, what do you say to Carrie Fisher? It's like, because she's so iconic, and it's another one of those things where you grew up looking at this person or watching this person, and like, what do you say to someone like that?
Yeah, you
So
get kind of lost
right.
in just childhood fandom, I would say. For someone like that, Star Wars is huge. I mean, that's like if I would ever meet like Mark Hamill, I don't even know what to like. I'd be like, hey, here's what do you say to
Yeah,
him?
I think Mark Hamill.
But he
Okay,
seems super cool too. They both seem cool though.
yeah, but the thing about the two of them is, like, I remember meeting Mark Hamill. This has got to be like maybe 25 years ago at a convention when it wasn't that crazy. It was just kind of more calm, and he was just there. You know what I mean? Um, over the course of time, all that stuff has been heightened. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So for Carrie Fisher to come and do something like that and do photo ops and all that stuff, dude, that was a big thing. And
Oh yeah.
now the same with Mark Hamill. Although I really hate what they did to the Luke Skywalker character in the
Last
last.
Jedi.
Oh, I hated it. I hated it.
Yeah, and I would like to know the reason why you hated it so much. I was furious. Um, I would like to know why you.
Uh, I think you have you've built this character up throughout the years and in this story, and then all of a sudden, this is what you do. This is how you end his existence. It was just so weird to me. And then the whole Princess Leia floating. It
Yeah,
was
Mary
like
Poppins.
Mary Pop. I was watching and I was just like, I hate this. I fucking hate this.
Yeah, I
And
was really frustrated about that.
now, don't get me wrong, because people would be like, "Oh, dude, you're too old for this type of stuff." But no, and I'm gonna kind of go back a little bit. So when the first movie came out, I took my daughter, and I was watching it through her eyes. Okay,
Hmm.
and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the first one. Then we went and we saw Rogue One. I did the same thing. Rogue One was awesome,
I
and
loved Rogue One,
Rogue One was they
and
did it the right way.
I was nervous about it too because I would see like the poster, and it would be like them at the like beach. Like I'm like, what the fuck are they in the beach for? It looks like a resort. So when I
Yeah,
went into it, I had low expectations. It blew my mind.
me too. And I loved it. And like I said, I was watching it through her eyes. And then I mean that the second movie hit, and yeah, dude, I don't know, just kind of went
Yeah, I mean,
downhill.
look, we grew up watching Star Wars. Luke Skywalker was our hero. You seen someone that went through so much and just kept fighting and fighting through it and fighting through it to become what? A miserable, old,
Old
not
curmudgeon.
positive person,
Yeah,
negative, like the most negative person you could think of, just a miserable asshole. And for how many years? 20 years, 30 years, we're watching him as this man of hope
yeah, yeah.
and
And
inspiration.
then
So I thought
and
it
like
was awful.
and like I said, that's what you do to the character. It was a complete
Mm.
letdown. But
Yeah, oh yeah.
again, whatever. To me, that's how it goes. I think nowadays they don't know what to do, and it seems like they just, oh, let's just wrap this up and be
Hmm.
done with it. Um, but hey, what are you gonna do?
Game of Thrones felt like that too. The last season toward the end, I feel like they needed more episodes for that. I don't know if you follow Game of Thrones, but
Absolutely. You felt probably the same way I did, that they wrapped it up too soon
mm,
and kind of squashed it all when it could have been another
yeah, it was
four
like very
episodes.
compressed. You know.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. But hey, I'm looking forward to the new Jackass movie. So
Oh hell yeah, yeah. Who would think we would get that? once again, guys, definitely check out his coffee, and I really love the artwork. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, it's literally on my wall. I think you guys should check out the prints, and and the coffee. I definitely need to go get myself a bag of that, because who doesn't love their damn coffee? Funko Pops. Before we wrap this up,
Yep.
what are your favorite Funko Pops you own?
Man,
That are like the grail pieces. I mean, you have a lot of autograph stuff. I know you're a big fan of Jaws, also. I've noticed.
I have
Um,
all that Jaws stuff, but there's certain Funko Pops that hang on, I'll
no
get.
problem.
Hopefully these don't fall.
Yeah, I know you have a little stacked, right? I grabbed a
Yeah.
couple before the show just in case it fell when I was.
So this one is
Oh,
one of my favorites, uh, and it's one of my favorite like cartoons growing up is this episode, and this one. This is the Canadian version of the Rush ones,
yeah,
and I just love it, man. But this has always been one of my favorites.
yeah,
Um,
and they're just so. And you know, some people say, "Oh, this is a fad. It's like Beanie Babies." No, it's not, man. These are iconic people. Like, you trying to tell me this is going to be a fad, like Boba Fett signed by Jeremy or something like that?
well, and again, it's what it means to you,
Exactly.
not necessarily what how people view it or
Hmm.
how they perceive this thing is going to go, but like if you love, like for instance, if you love the Beatles, these are one of the one of the first ones that came out is when they
I
did
know
the
you
whole.
have them. That's crazy.
Yeah, and
Look how you can see how much they've stepped up the designs from back then.
oh dude, I know, look at that, it's like so
It's just
different.
so dumbed down, and there's some appreciation you could get from that, at the same
Dude,
time.
dude,
Like, like I
they
love wrestling. I got Mick Foley. Like, I love comedy. I got Joe Coy. It's like
that's
basketball.
awesome.
You Michael Jordan Funko Pops. I mean, it's
Oh
just
dude, I have all the Jordan ones, but now there's this one that got delayed again.
the Foot
Um,
Locker
the
exclusive.
Foot Locker
They're
exclusive.
playing with our
Yeah,
emotions on that one, man.
I know. And yeah, they just keep pumping these things out like over and over.
And we need an
But hey,
Anthrax Funko. We need Anthrax Funko Pops, please, guys.
I hear it's on the list for next year.
Oh my God, please. We
Yeah,
need
yeah.
this. We need everyone from the big four. We need Megadeth also. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, one thing that I'm excited about, we may possibly get a Cliff Burnham Funko Pop. Did you see the 4-pack with Jason Newsted yet?
I saw that. That's the Black Album one or something.
Yeah, so if they got
Yeah,
Jason on there, they'll probably do a Kill 'Em All or Ride the Lightning or something.
that'd be kind of cool to get Cliff as one. I saw that they did a Doors.
Yes, they did
Uh,
do a Doors, and they
another
did a
Queen,
Queen,
another
yes.
Queen. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Oh, Jesus.
real quickly before we go, because we mentioned the big four, um, I noticed this too, and I want to just show you this really quickly. I noticed this your tape collection from back in the days.
Oh yeah,
I legit had all of these albums, and I'm impressed how many Cure albums you have, because the Cure is awesome, by the way.
yeah.
LL Cool J, but you had so much different music, and I love that. And it made me think of this question: out of the big four, what is your favorite album from all the members, all the big four?
If I had to pick one from each, or just one,
Or you can mention more than one if it's too hard for you to.
I think and I've always said this, 1986, the four bands probably released their signature record. And I
Mm,
felt, Metallica, like, I think Puppets is their best album.
mm,
Slayer did Rain and Blood. I think that's their best album. And Megadeth had Peace Sells, which I think is their best album. And then we were doing Among the Living. Those four records if you go see those bands at any time, you'll probably hear at least 3 or 4 songs off of those records.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that's always been each band's signature record, and that's a moment in time that may never happen again. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
because
that's
they're
such a movement, man. All of you
it's
guys just hitting this earth with monster records. Like they were all beasts of records.
yeah, exactly. And to this day, I think they still have held, stood the test of time. Um, just great music, man.
Yeah, Among the Living was just. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that spreading the disease to me is just as special as Among the Living. That's just me personally. I put them at a tie, actually.
Well, that's
Um,
cool. That's cool because I think without spreading, there'd be none.
yeah,
There
like
wouldn't
I
be
even
that
like
album.
the cuts that you guys don't perform, like the Enemy. That's my shit right there. Like I love that record. So,
That's a great album.
but your drumming really stood out to me when I was a kid to this one, especially during Skeletons in the Closet.
That's a great one. Yeah, one of
And
my favorites.
I don't know if people ever say that to you, but when you start going fucking crazy on the drums in the beginning, and then I think you would do it a couple of more times, it'd be like a little break before it would go back to the verse,
Yeah,
where you
yeah.
would just go ham on the fucking bass, and then
It's relentless.
it was crazy. But when we were kids, we would rewind it almost like you would hear a rapper like
Yeah.
saying some dope shit. We'd be like, yo, this guy's fucking playing so fast. Cause like double bass, that was you guys, the big fours when you guys really were like really
Yeah,
bringing
man.
that to life in my generation. Maybe before that it was going on, but I don't my generation. That shit just sounded so
I
sick.
I think the drummers around that time, myself, Lars, and Dave too, we were creating a new level of drumming. And to this day, I see so many people now adapting to that style and sound.
Mm-hmm.
Young kids, man, just kind of doing it, and it's amazing.
No, it is. And like even like I love your drumming. Even like for one of the most popular songs, I would say is Indians, right? It's safe to say it's a pretty popular song. Like when you guys were putting that song together, did you start with the chords, or were you just effing around with the drum beat? Like, because your drums stand out heavy on that. Do
I
you do?
wanted it to be a very like a primal. I just wanted there to be the drums in the beginning of it, and then we knew we wanted to do this war dance section, and then the melody um, was there in the beginning too, and then the topic of the song we wanted to write about how the Indians got a fucking
Yeah,
shit deal
yeah,
and
for real.
how their land was stolen and just a song to make people think.
Yeah, and it's an amazing record. One of the best thrash metal
Yeah,
songs, I think, in general. It's fucking
yeah, man,
badass.
awesome.
And I think, yeah, we're gonna. Oh, one more quick question. Because I gotta ask you this because I was looking at your tapes. What's your favorite rappers? If you can name 3 to 5, who say would be your favorite
Oh,
rappers?
that's easy. Chuck D, uh, Notorious B.I.G. is probably one of my all-time favorites, and Nas and Eric B. and Rakim. That first man,
Oh
that
yeah,
record was
yeah.
played constantly, and
I
then
ain't no joke. Eric B for
yeah,
president.
Eric B. for president is such an awesome.
So
Um,
good.
so, and I like a lot of the Long Island guys too, like Chuck D, of course, LL, all Run DMC, but Tribe Called Quest and De La Soul, uh, and of course the Beastie Boys. So
Oh yeah.
I'm I'm more of that old school. I don't care for much of it today. It
Mhm.
doesn't say anything. It doesn't move me the way those things did.
Yeah, I feel like there's more of a message in hip hop back then. With a lot of those artists. Did you ever have the opportunity to meet Notorious B.I.G.?
Nah,
No, no.
I wish.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. But we did a VH Honors one time. Scott and I played with Public Enemy, and we were backstage hanging, and like we were with the Beastie Boys. Kid Rock was there, and Run DMC, and just talking to those guys. And I don't know if they really, at the time, really got what it all meant. Um, but again, it's hard for like someone who's in it to kind of step outside of it and look in, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because people ask that question to me too, and it's kind of like it's hard because you're living it, um, and it's sometimes you need to step outside and look into it, you know.
And just to leave on a positive note, you're an OG. I mean, you're 40 years deep in the game. For anyone that's coming up in the game that may even have records out, a band, what advice would you give for a band to stay together? Any kind of advice? Because
I
it's
would
like
say,
longer than
yeah.
marriage for some of you guys, you know, like double marriages, like it's a long period of time. What would your advice be?
I mean, it's hard to say what's going to stay and what's going to last for you. But the thing that at least for us, we all got in a van and went across country and played. And on that way back, we knew who was going to survive and who wasn't going to survive. And I always
Mhm.
tell that story and respect each other. Um, Respect what that guy brings, and hopefully he respects what you bring to it. And the day that it becomes a business is when things change. But that's how it goes, you know?
Mhm.
But you have to still respect them, respect yourselves, and just respect what you're doing. That's a big thing. And of course, get a good lawyer.
Yeah, you need that lawyer, right?
You need that lawyer.
If
Yeah,
only
bro.
you knew that when you first signed, right? I'm sure for most artists, I mean, maybe you had a great experience, but every artist I've interviewed, they've always said, you know, they if like the first beginning of their career was kind of crazy with that, you know.
Yeah,
So
because you wanna do it. Come on, man, let's do it. I want to do it. And
yeah.
you're in a rush to get to that place.
Hmm.
But luckily for us, we didn't do it that way. We were pretty smart.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that, man. And I appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much.
No,
Appreciate you. Oh,
dude,
new
let
music
me
is
know.
coming. You can confirm that, right? You did it on your Instagram,
Yes.
right?
Yes, next year. Yeah, we're working on it now. Hard
I
at work.
can't wait. I
Yeah.
cannot wait, man. Thank you for your time, dude.
Yeah,
Appreciate you,
bro.
man.
Thank you. And maybe
Once
we'll
again,
do
please plug anything you want to plug.
oh no, no, no. We're gonna be at Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con on Saturday, the 9th, I believe it is. Or is that the 8th?
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna be doing a Q&A and a signing for our graphic novel. So if you could get there, get there. But yeah, let's do a part two at some point of this.
Oh, I would love to, bro. For real.
Yeah,
We got
man.
a lot in
Uh,
common, man. Thank
I
you,
know.
man.
All right, bro. You take care and have a great weekend.
You too. Later, bro.
Cheers. Woohoo.